Oh, Haramija versus Halon. It looks like his version works, so maybe the initial version now is synced or something. Now it seems to be alright. Uh, Haramija is using the Indians, which is my most favorite 1v1 Civ on ranked, probably, is the Indians. And then Halon is using Ethiopia. So we got an Ethiopia versus India. I would prefer to be India in this matchup if it was me. I would prefer to be India. I mean, Ethiopia might have a few tricks up their sleeves, but I would rather be India. So Ethiopia is going to start with their granary there, so they can boost up their hunting rate at least. Lure in some of those bisons so you can save on some villager seconds of having to run around to eat all the things. And India, at least if I remember correctly, is... Oh, interesting. So India's going for maybe a Karnamata. Is that right? I'm trying to recall my India knowledge. When you see India go full food with their vills, that's, if I remember correctly, a sign that they're going to go Karnamata, and that's why they're rushing very quickly to get all the food out of the way. Yeah, he might be going for Karnamata. Yeah. Usually when you go Agrifort, you play more reserved and you stick most of your vills on wood to keep up with the vill numbers. And then you sort of play that like a semi-fast fortress, but yeah, no, he might be going Karnamata here, yeah. Now what is he doing with this villager? I'm kind of curious. What is he doing with that villager? Oh, he's going aggro still. Is that right? Oh, interesting. I've never seen somebody in the Definitive Edition actually go with an all-out hunt with the Indian villagers just to do a aggro fort. That's insane, actually. I just played versus Phoenix. You probably get some PTSD after that, I would imagine, yeah. Halon is Russian? I didn't know that. He wiped floor with me. I bet he did. I've seen Phoenix play before. He's a brutal player, man. I think I've even seen him do some of those Total War modes with HV&I, and he just completely cleaned him under the rug, basically. It was spoopy. Very spoopy. Yeah, so first card's obviously going to be Wood Trickle, Distributivism with India, because kind of similar to Russians, they don't get villager cards. But every card is a villager card because you get a free villager with every card, right? So it's Wood Trickle with the villager, crates with the villager, sepoys with the villager. Yeah, Indians literally don't need any villager cards because their whole civ is literally just villager cards that does other stuff as well. So, yeah. That's pretty cool. Now, what Wars of Liberty did, which is pretty scary, is they actually set it so you get free villagers proportional to the age you're in. So obviously an age 1 card will still give you just 1 vill, but if you send like an age 4 card, you're gonna get free 4 villagers from that. So if you're an India lover, maybe go over to Wars of Liberty so you can enjoy those extra free villagers, I guess, if you're willing to sacrifice things like the Mysore rockets and the special arsonist card and stuff. So yeah, just saying there, pretty much. Yep. Absolutely. Just checking what's going on in the Wars of Liberty server there. Seeing if they're playing any matches. So I know we were having a bit of lack of activity in the past few days there. Alright, so he is going to start off with Sepoy, it looks like, and go for a Sepoy rush. That's typically what the Indians do. They love their Sepoy. It's kind of their backbone unit. Trainable right out of the aggro fort from the start, and that's generally how they set up, you know. And then what you end up doing is you use the aggro fort and its placement as sort of like a map control versus unit aggression against your villagers too. Like, you could potentially try to herd in this hunt somehow to get it over there. You can obviously get the mine over here. Aggro fort placement is very important when you're playing as Indians, If you can place it really well, it can be a huge difference in your performance. Also, look at the great treasure India's going to get too. He's going to get 320 XP. This is huge. This is a big treasure here. Yeah. Also, looks like India is getting their foreign logging. Foreign logging is just a bigger version of distributivism. It's like an even bigger wood trickle, and then obviously you get the free villager with the two as India. So, yeah, that's a pretty big deal, actually, if you can get that early on. And then he's getting more wood, it looks like. Oh, interesting. So he's committing to an age 2 fight, it sounds like, from the looks of it, from the gist of it. So he's gonna just go full Sepoy rush, I think, and then go from there. Yeah, pretty much. Interesting. Sepoy is doing a good job there, fighting off all that stuff. Yep. Oh, going for the diplomatic intrigue. That's always a good send as the Indians, because normally you would use that to get a consulate up with the Ottomans and then get some handcav in the form of the Rumbaliyats, which is the royal guard name for the Delhis. So that's quite good. Looks like this Ethiopia is also relying on conquistadors to win, but unfortunately, India actually gets skirmishers available in Age 2, similar to the Dutch, except that theirs is called the Gurkha. So it's a little bit different stats, and it's only about 18 range, but yeah, it's pretty affordable actually. You know, it's not that expensive to make, so it's a pretty solid unit, honestly. You know. Going with all those Gurkhas is gonna kind of make the conquistadors not as effective and force them back a bit, which I think is pretty nice. So that's quite good. Oh, going with the Azaps. That's a good choice. Yeah, Azaps is a nice add-on here because they'll obviously be really good against the Conquistadors. They're kind of like a pikeman crossbowman hybrid. You know, at range they got multipliers against dragoons, and then in melee they have multipliers against cav. So, kind of a little bit of both worlds there, sort of. So yeah, that'll definitely deter any future Conquistador pressure that the Ethiopia might be thinking of. He is starting to get a war camp now too, so starting to think about maybe adding in some generic troops. Also going for fortress aids with the Sudanese, so since he's already doing natives with the Conquistadors, he figured, you know what, may as well add the Sudanese in their dervishes. Because the dervishes will actually be a really big threat to this composition. Dervishes are like skirmishers, but they throw knives, so they actually deal hack damage. So they'll actually ignore the armor of these Gurks and like do really severe damage to them if they're not careful. So I think in that regard, going Sudanese is a pretty reasonable option to go with, honestly. Just saying. Yeah. It looks like he's also going to be queuing in some Shotel warriors. Pretty good. Basically a coyote runner that also gets multipliers against skirmish class. So that should be pretty good, actually. Indeed it is. Yep, see that? They get 1.25 against skirmish, so pretty heavy hitting unit for a one pop hand infantry. And here comes those dervishes right now, by the way, queuing in. Rajputs. Interesting. So Rajputs is one we don't actually see a whole lot of. But it's essentially the Indians' pikemen, I guess you could call it. Though they're not the strongest, you know. I used to think that Rajputs were really good, but I guess not everybody likes them. I definitely used to make them a lot in Wars of Liberty with Sawars, and it used to be sort of my thing with Abyss guns, but times have changed. Times are strange. Now, yep, garrison there. Gurks get a few free shots on these units. Oh, the elephants are going to do some splash. They did a stomp. It stuns them. Gurks doing their best to pick off these dervishes so they don't become a threat later. Definitely a smart move. Oh, he's adding Neftanyas in. Ah, interesting. So Neftanyas, essentially pretty sturdy skirmishers that the Ethiopians get, so kind of makes sense he gets those to deal with the Rajputs, deal with the Sepoys and the Azaps, and then have a unit that can outrange the Gurks too. So yeah, Neftanya might be the unit that he wants here for all these units. Shotels have not connected yet, and the Sepoys go into melee to intercept the Shotels, so that's a successful defend there for India. But he does have to deal with all this stuff, though. These Sepoys are going into melee to charge the Kongs. Take out one Kong. So kind of a bit of a shred there. But that's okay. He's luring him back in towards his Agra fort now, so he can hopefully damage him a bit over there. Should be good. Just giving a little bit of splash to him, which is always nice. Yep, just back up a little bit and then go back in and in.
ምንድን ነው የፈለጉት ንጉሥ ሆይ?
And he does get his first batch of Rumeliets out, by the way, from the Ottoman consulate allies there. Biggest problem's going to be those conquistadors if he plans on using these hand cav effectively. Also, India's also in age 3. What did he get? He got the Tower of Victory. That's a nice ability he can run every now and then to essentially be disappointed. Looks like he already used it once, called Inspiration, to buff up the attack hit points and speed the units. What is he going to get now? He's going to get Siege Ellie to deal with the Sevastopol. Kind of a reasonable choice considering the situation. He does have 3 Mahout. It's an expensive 1,000 food. Can get the Howdas. Sam's. He's got a Rumi. He's got the intervention card, so he's got some options. And then in age 4, he's even got the Mysore rockets. Siege Ellie on the Sevastopol, pretty good. Yep, he can catch up after it since it's a pretty decent movement speed on him. Yeah. You're gonna want to retreat. Oh, yep. Oh, boom. Did it. These guys have made their use. As long as they take out the Sevastopol, you know that they're useful. If you don't get the Sevastopol down, then they were a waste. But at least they did that. Alright, Zep Boys again, successfully intercepting the Chotel Warriors. Oh, he's running in with the elephants again to mess up the formation on the Chotels, I think, a little bit. Oh, man. Very nice. Spicy indeed. GG. That's why I said, man. That's why I said I would rather be India in this matchup than Ethiopia. Just saying. India is a very phenomenal 1v1 civ in ranked for a reason. They just get a really good early defense going with that aggro fort and map control, and then they just build it up